Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on the OVA for Konosuba Season 2. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So unlike the Season 1 OVA, I'm not really sure I remember this one. I'm not sure if I watched it at all. I mean, it seems like this is coming right off the heels of the previous season. You know, everyone's lauding Kazuma for having defeated a general of the Demon King and all that, but, man, that doesn't stop Kazuma from, being awkward in the presence of a woman. I mean, that's how you know, like, he's never really had whiskey before. Man, the poor guy, he just didn't know what he was saying, and now he's all flustered. And the waitress is laughing at him. I'm not sure Kazuma deserves this sort of treatment. Although, you know, it seems like it's not all bad. Like, I mean, having an adoring fan, that's something, but at the same time, you know, I'm wondering if maybe there's another angle here. That's frequently the case, you know. I mean, she certainly seems eager enough, but you never know. And I guess... Oh. Yeah, I see where this is going. Kazuma's gotta drink whiskey in front of someone. You know, something tells me it's not a really good idea to just give a glass of whiskey away to some, you know, greenhorn adventurer. Ooh dear. Man, the guild girl saw everything, like... Ooh. Man, twisting the knife like that, like you wouldn't refuse a request in front of your adoring fans, would you? And that's it, you know, they have to go slay a golem, which... According to Aqua, it seems like it's a rather unsavory business, especially considering how rich they are. So it seems like Kazuma's conveniently left out the part about being coerced into this, and that it's sort of his fault, you know. He's just playing it up like, oh yeah, no, let's take a quest, it'll be fun. So Megumin's saying that, like, a golem wouldn't be a satisfying thing to kill, but... I don't know. I feel like they don't have very good odds if they don't bring Megumin along to kill the golem. At least Kazuma has the right idea by, trying to prick her pride about this. Or rather, stoke her ego. If word gets around that you can kill a golem with one spell, then, people will look up to you. Looking up, of course, being a relative term. That's pretty classic that Kazuma would just take Aqua's staff and use that to lure her over to the site of the adventure. So I guess the idea here is that they need to kill this golem that's guarding the ruins, the idea being that there might be treasure and cool stuff inside. But at the same time, we don't know much about the golem. It could be a rather, large, dangerous thing, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I'm wondering if this isn't a case where messing with the golem is far more trouble than it's worth. It would be something if the girl from the guild sent these adventurers to go mess around with it and then it ended up stomping half the town flat. I mean, no doubt Kazuma would have to end up paying for that, although, knowing what we do from Season 3, debt from that isn't mentioned anywhere. The sudden onset of what seems to be an earthquake is probably not a good sign. This thing was referred to as a golem, but given the shadow that it's casting, I think, golem undersells it quite a bit. I mean, a golem might be big, I would imagine, but it wouldn't be that big, It might be, at most, 3 times the size of a person, but this thing is titanic. I guess it's rather remarkable that darkness can actually, do something. I guess it's also telling that she's disappointed that it's not gonna beat the tar out of her. Oh dear. So, now I'm wondering, this seems like it's going easier than one would think. Megumin's bizarre sense of taste notwithstanding. I'm wondering if this is really truly the golem. You know what? I can't entirely blame Megumin. The giant golem is pretty cool, but I don't think keeping it as a pet is an option. Yeah, it is rather interesting that Megumin is unwilling to destroy it, when normally blowing things up is her, first and highest priority. I mean, I feel like, the stuff the golem's getting up to, that would be grounds for destroying it, if nothing else. But, this whole episode makes me wonder, what sort of a person made this golem? I feel like the golem's inventor and Kazuma might be kindred spirits. I'm kind of surprised it took so little convincing for Megumin to ultimately pull the trigger on this thing. Wow. They were kind of, right near the blast. Maybe, Kazuma should have gotten out of the way. At least someone's having a good day, because Kazuma surely isn't. Man, even though it's been destroyed, Megumin still doesn't care. It would be nice to take that thing home. And I guess it would be kind of nice if they could refurbish it, but... I I mean, where would they even keep it, really? At least Kazuma has some sort of awareness that, you know, the increasing rapidity of its eyes blinking is probably not a good thing. Ooh. So I guess it makes sense that it would explode, but the question is, what's Megumin think about that? I mean, if she were shown up by a mere golem. You know, something tells me Kazuma hasn't learned his lesson here. By showing off to this girl, he's just going to invite another more dangerous quest. I mean, really, that's gotta be the only option, right? Because, you know, he can't look bad in front of his adoring fans, you know? Even if he is embellishing and stretching the tale a little bit. Oh, that's another thing. Drinking in the middle of the day. That's, poor form. Classic. How classic of Kazuma not to remember Mitsurugi's name. Ooh. This is a bit of a plot twist, isn't it? So maybe Kazuma won't be coerced into taking another quest to avoid looking bad, but maybe he'll do it to show up Mitsurugi. 'Cause, I mean, you know, there's certainly some animus here. Kazuma's none too appreciative of this guy. Yeah. Yeah, he just has to bring it up, doesn't he? You know, it's one of those things where it's like, sure, Mitsurugi defeated an ancient dragon, but I beat him, so that makes me better. Wait a minute, he's beaten 3 generals. No, now that you mention it, I suppose he has by this point in time. There's, Vanir, Beldia, and, whoever that slime guy was. Forget his name. Ah, okay. You know, I guess I was right the first time. The guild girl's gonna say like, hey, got another quest. Surely you couldn't turn it down, huh? Ooh. Man, caught in a lie. This is why you should just tell the truth, you know? Ooh. How bad are things when Aqua's saying, are you just a stupid person pretending to be smart? You know, if that's not the pot calling the kettle black, then frankly I don't know what is. You know, I do appreciate Megumin's spirit in wanting to build this papier-mâché robot, but, you know, it is only papier-mâché. Yet, that is an important point from Kazuma, that the artistry of it is rather impressive considering it is papier-mâché, and that, you know, with Aqua, the problem really is intelligence and laziness. You know, if she would have stopped being stupid and or lazy, she might be able to make something of herself on her own. So investigating the ruins, huh? Surely nothing bad could happen here, right? Exploring these unexplored ruins? I mean, if the golem was there to guard it, then surely there's gotta be something nice within, right? But, even though Aqua is motivated by money, something tells me bad things are gonna happen. You know, it's interesting that that little toy is referred to as a magic item, which I suppose it would be by their standards, but it really does seem like, you know, just like a mundane thing from the real world. That's actually very interesting that this is essentially a dungeon built by someone like him, and that they have a bunch of, artifacts, for want of a better term. So I guess the question is, what is the nature of this threat Kazuma has sensed, and is it in truth something mundane that merely appears fantastic to Aqua and the others. Ooh. Wow, those are really creepy looking, these little, like, cursed baby dolls. So I'm wondering, what's the deal here? So it seems like they're, like, undead, and therefore ripe for Aqua to destroy, but I'm wondering why they were latching to her specifically. I guess it was no real issue in the end, but I was sort of hoping it was something funnier. Now, it's interesting that they haven't found any conventional treasure, which, makes sense. People in the real world aren't known for hoarding gold normally. But the question is, what sort of actual valuables would be here? Like, surely if there was some sort of, electronic device that they could copy, Kazuma could, produce some intellectual property and sell it that way. Alright, so at this point, it's all but confirmed that this guy is like Kazuma. I guess the only difference is that, he picked a skill rather than taking Aqua with him. So unfortunately, he seems to be a NEET like Kazuma, not really doing much of anything. Wow. To pick the power to manifest anything you can imagine. That really is something. So I guess the question is, if this guy was so powerful and all that, then why didn't he do anything? It seems like he just sort of made these ruins and a bunch of cool stuff and then didn't do much of anything else. I mean, if he spent 113 days and he didn't really, do much. I mean, I guess he seemed to be diligently creating things, but nothing capable of defeating the Demon Lord. I guess it's interesting that he seemingly blames himself. Not having the necessary resolve, he can't create something worthwhile enough. It's interesting that the guy sort of became native over time, just sort of no longer writing in Japanese and all that, and he seemingly succumbed to some desire. I mean, I guess it makes sense, He was the sort of person who didn't really do much of anything in Japan, and why would he be anything else in a new world? And so I guess he just sort of decided to indulge. Man, so all the things he made were really just, kind of useless. Yeah, I can't say I really blame Darkness and Megumin for being, disgusted by all of this. Yeah. I know where this is going, and I think I can understand why they would be worried or concerned. So I guess, on the other hand, this is certainly something Kazuma would be excited about. It's interesting that as time goes on, he's become, less unhinged. Ooh. It's interesting that, personality was the big consideration here. Man, despite saying, like, he's just a lazy NEET, at least he has the dedication to continue designing over so many years. I mean, like, we're talking like 2,000 days, that's many years by this point. Man, it's rather unfortunate that he just sort of... Oh, it's him. I was gonna say, it's unfortunate that he arrived at the conclusion that he could just sort of become an engineer and build and design things and sell them. Like, it only took years to get to that point, but I guess it ended up poorly regardless, seeing as how he created the Destroyer Fortress, which, ultimately killed him. Yeah, despite Kazuma saying we need to take care of this berserk golem, it seems like he's far more interested in its other properties, which, that's kind of standard for Kazuma, but I feel like maybe the others should be preventing him from doing this. It's rare that Aqua has such a firm grasp on the situation that no matter what they do, like, she's going to be traumatized, Darkness is going to be assaulted, Megumin's gonna blow up the whole thing and land everyone in more debt. Which, that's really just true no matter how you look at it. And I guess the question is, like, is what Kazuma's hoping to gain worth it by any stretch of the imagination? Like, surely it wouldn't be, right? I mean, despite every attempt made to make it look like it is worth it, something tells me it won't be. I mean, we saw all those failed prototypes, and this is, the only one left. Should have figured. Megumin can't resist pressing a button when presented with one. That's not good. That's not a good trait to have. Oh dear. So, if this golem's going to associate whoever it first sees with her master, then, maybe it's not a bad thing if it doesn't immediately identify Kazuma. Because, I mean, he said it himself, what if it is berserk or otherwise dangerous? There we go. There we go. That's the ulterior motive. He wants to be the master of this golem. Oh dear. I'm not sure Kazuma's projecting exactly, but, boy. Oh dear. I think he, might have gotten more than he bargained for. He certainly would have been wiser to, let Darkness twist in the wind. At least somebody would have enjoyed this. Yeah, you know what? He was ultimately right when he was lying. This thing is berserk, and, it would be best destroyed. So unlike last time, I feel like Ran isn't really buying his version of events. I'm wondering if maybe she's gotten wise to this whole thing by now. Or if the guild girl has disabused her of all the stupid stuff Kazuma says. Man, so it really did go exactly how Aqua said it would. Like, you know, like even down to being in debt and having to pay a fee for canceling the quest. Man. You know, I guess it's nice that in the third season at least, things start to turn up, because this is rather a dire situation for the party to be in. You know, indebted and with nothing much to show for it other than bumps and bruises. Oh. I smell a rat here. Maybe this whole thing was a scheme to get Kazuma to do quests anyways. Man, the job of motivating Kazuma to do quests is so horrible that this girl won't do it without more money. Oh man, if everything else wasn't a big enough a kick in the knackers, like this is gonna be downright disheartening. Oh dear. I mean, I think Aqua's putting it lightly. That's not mere embarrassment. Like, this is like the worst possible outcome made manifest. Oh dear indeed. So I guess now that this scheme has come to light, like, you know, obviously they can't do it again without extreme suspicion, right? Yeah, there's no way they can salvage this. Like, the cat's out of the bag. No lie will rectify this. I mean, they can't even give, like, real compliments. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.